Chào mừng quý vị quay trở lại với phần 2 của chương trình Câu chuyện kinh doanh trên kênh truyền hình FBNC với khách mời là ông Kevin McWhinney, giám đốc điều hành của công ty Libra Loma. Thank you, Mr. McWhinney, for joining us again. I know recently Libra and Loma held an event called SIC Strategy Issues Conference in Ho Chi Minh City. So is that an annual event? Could you tell us more about this event?
Sure, Anne. The Strategic Issues Conference, this is our 20th anniversary of the conference here in Asia. The conference previously has been held throughout Asia, in last year in China and previously in Malaysia and Indonesia, Philippines, and so on. And so the conference is here in Vietnam this year, as we like to rotate it around. And I mean, there probably couldn't be a better place to have the conference here. I mean, we look at the Vietnamese market as being such a young and growing market, has a growing middle class to it. And I think there's a lot of interest around Asia, and some of our delegates that have even come over from the U.S. and Canada for this conference to see really what is going on here and understand a little bit more about this market.
So this is the first time in Vietnam, right?
My first time, or
no,
the first time
the first time of the event.
First time of the event. It is the very first time, yes.
But why is in Vietnam for the first time for now?
Yeah, well, we think that the timing is very good to be in this market. We have at LIMRA done a lot of research on something called the market maturity model. And that's a way that we look at markets throughout the world and determine how they grow. And this particular market in Vietnam is an emerging market. And we look at that in comparison to, say, other more mature markets around the world where the life insurance penetration is much higher here. I mean, I think in Vietnam there's something like 5 or 7% market penetration here. And yet in more mature markets you can have, 60 or 70% market penetration in places like the UK or in the US or Canada. So bringing a lot of delegates here. We have over 200 delegates joined our conference and had an opportunity to hear about global and regional trends that are happening. And then these are some of the thought leaders of key insurance companies around Asia. And the conference attracts people that are looking at their strategies of how to grow and how to develop in their own particular markets.
Wow, and do you think that what would the CEO, the senior executive or key staff, key persons of the financial and security company that could get out of the conference?
Well, we present, the speakers present a number of different topics that are related to everything from mergers and acquisitions to speakers that talk about reinsurance and how that works, which is not something that's really popular in this country, but regionally it is important, to the impact of the regulators, and throughout different regulators have different approaches to our business, to things like compliance, to how to grow your business. And I think one of the pieces of the conference that I was most excited about was the part on the sort of the social networking and thinking about the future of where is the insurance industry going, not just in Vietnam, but globally and regionally. And the thought of seeing the sort of middle market, the Generation X, the Generation Y, who may not be insurance purchasers yet, and how are they going to make an insurance purchase in the future? And so we're looking at trends. The research is showing us, and we've done a great amount of research in China and in Taiwan, in Indonesia, and here in Vietnam. In terms of looking at how do consumers, how would they react to using social media, to using mobile technology, for example. It's a very different type of customer today than the customers of our parents or our grandparents. And I think a lot of the the leaders of these insurance companies are coming here to try to see what they can do to better access those markets, and that's why they attended our conference.
So besides those presentations at the conference, do you think which content are the most appropriate to the Vietnam market at this moment?
I think the one that's most significant in this market was from the feedback we got from our conference attendees was this growing sort of middle market.
Right.
And how are they buying life insurance? And how are they using social media? And how should life insurance companies be approaching them to help educate them? The Vietnamese market doesn't know a lot about insurance products yet.
No.
It's too young of an industry here. And whereas in my home country of Canada, insurance has been around for about 140 years. Here in Vietnam, insurance has only been around for 10 to 15 years. So it's a very young market. And so we need to educate this very young, growing middle class here about how insurance can play a role in their financial security as they get older, they get married, and they have children of their own. And probably more importantly even is when they retire, they're going to live long and healthy lives.
But how do you define middle class? Like you say, is a middle class in terms of income or middle class in terms of the age range?
I define it more in terms of lifestyle, and that's heavily dependent on income. And when we see a very sort of employed market that doesn't have to rely on 2 or 3 jobs, which has been the case here in Vietnam for many years, to make ends meet. So when you can keep the unemployment rates down and people are employable and they have some discretionary income, and that's the key. I mean, it's pretty hard to do financial planning of any sort, if you don't have a little bit of money you can set aside as a nest egg for the future. And so if you have to use all of your money just to pay your rent and pay your petrol for your motorbike and to feed your children and so on, then, I don't think that's the middle class. But we're seeing the trend, all of the research that we're doing here, and especially throughout Asia and here in Vietnam, shows that this market is growing. It's an exciting place to be in Asia right now.
Yeah. So go back to the SIC. So next year, where it's going to be held?
Next year, we are going to be moving the SIC to Singapore.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So it's never been in Singapore, to the best of my knowledge.
Wow.
And so this is a chance now to showcase that city. You asked me earlier, about why Vietnam and why did we have it in other countries in previous years. We were in Beijing last year. But one of the reasons, one of the benefits of coming to these conferences, not only the content of the conference, but it's also the networking with your peers. It's also an opportunity to explore a little bit of a different market. And I think the insurance industry is a pretty small market, even in Asia. And most of us know someone in another country with another life insurance company. And it's always nice to visit that country and maybe visit them and see what they do differently.
Okay, thank you for your information. Kính thưa quý vị, chúng ta vừa xem xong phần 2 của chương trình Câu chuyện Kinh doanh. Phần 3 của chương trình xin được quay lại trong vòng ít phút nữa.